Hi, Andy McPhee here at F.A. Davis. I want to talk today about permissions, specifically permissions for a photograph or an illustration. Let's hold off on permissions for textual content. I'll talk about that in another video. For photographs, let's look at that first. Publishers typically want to use their own assets. So let's take an example. You're authoring a book and you want to use a photograph of contact dermatitis. Rather than asking permission of another publisher, another book, for your book, it's better to see if the publisher itself has a contact dermatitis photo, probably several of them, and then you can choose from among those. If they don't have one of those assets, then look outside. But the publisher wants to use its own assets first because we hold the copyright to those assets, generally speaking. Bear in mind that costs of permissions, they're covered by the contract, but they generally are paid by the author, typically out of royalties. So the publisher will take money from the royalties, the first part of the royalties, to pay for permissions before you ever see royalties. That's typically the way it works. Not always, certainly, and every contract is different, but that's typically the way it works. Illustrations are a little different. Again, the publisher may want to look at their own assets for an illustration of, say, cardiac circulation, but they also are cognizant of the number of times those illustrations or a particular illustration has been used. And if it gets used too much, they may want, regardless of how many of those illustrations they have, they may want to draw a new one. Or your book may be new and a new approach and they want a completely new art program for that, in which case they'd want to draw all the art again anyway. So you won't need permission from those. But sometimes the illustration is so unique that you need permission from the source, the publisher in which that work was first printed. Then yes, you got to get permission. But by and large, illustrations are really a matter of the publisher itself, whether or not they want to borrow their own or make completely new ones. So that's it for the nutshell for image permission. I want to talk in the next video about textual content permission. Thanks very much.